What if Deku was the son of Hawks and Murkrow? Part 1. Before I do get into this, I would like to thank you all for 7,000 subscribers. When I started this, I never thought I would reach that number, and now I have. I thank you for that, and now let's get into this what if. Izuku would be born to his parents, Hawks and Murkrow, with his quirk. It would basically just be a combination of both Murkrow's and Hawks' quirk, with Izuku having Hawks' wings and Murkrow's bunny ears, bunny tail, and her leg strength and all that, as they were just combined into one, giving Izuku a very, very, very strong quirk. And from a young age, he would have a very happy childhood, but he would also have some down parts or some not so good parts in his childhood. One of those he would consider was having to train ever since he was 4, having been told that his quirk was very, very powerful and he should train. Much like Hawks' childhood, how, I believe the government took him to train him. The government tasked Hawks and Murkrow with training Izuku so that he can become a very, very, very skilled fighter. I wonder how many times I've said very in this episode. As Izuku would be just training for most of his childhood, as the government wants Izuku to become what is probably going to be the most powerful hero in their time besides All Might. So a couple years would pass as Izuku would basically just be friends with most of the students, as Izuku would then see Bakugo bullying a kid on the playground. Izuku would run up to Bakugo at very high speeds, just like his rabbit, like his mother, having very strong leg muscles, just like a rabbit, as he would then get there and catch Bakugo's fist right before an explosion would be thrown down onto a young girl with black hair. Izuku would then look at Bakugo as Izuku would say, "Bakugo, it's not nice to hurt people." To which Bakugo would then say, "Shut up, Izuku, this girl doesn't have a quirk." To which Izuku would then just say, "What do you mean, Bakugo? That doesn't matter. Just because someone's quirkless doesn't mean you can bully them." To which Izuku would then just push Bakugo aside, as he would then turn to the girl and ask her if she was okay. This girl would be Momo Yaoyorozu. Is that how you say it? Momo Yaoyorozu? Yeah, that's how you say it. That would be that girl. Izuku would then just stand right in front of her as if protecting her, as he would then tell Bakugo to go somewhere else and don't bully somebody. As Izuku would then turn to the girl, as he would then tell her that it's alright to be quirkless and that she can still be a hero if she wants to be. Now from there, Izuku would then walk back to his house, hoping that he finally made a new friend besides all the people he's met in school. As Izuku would then just wait many, many more years of training, hoping that one day he can get into UA. I mean, it's basically a given. So, after the 10 years have passed, Izuku would walk into class, and it was the final class period, as the teacher would then walk in with the papers to go to high schools, as he would then say, "Well, I guess we should start filling out these forms so you can go to high schools you want," as he would then throw the papers into the air, saying, "Well, that's not necessary, as I know all of you want to be heroes," as the entire class would just cheer like, "Yeah, we want to be heroes," as Izuku would then just be sitting there waiting for the class to end. From there, the teacher would then say, "Oh, it looks like 2 of our students have wanted to go to UA," as they would then look around, as the teacher would then say that Bakugo and Izuku both wanted to go to UA, as the entire class would erupt into whispers, as they start talking about how Izuku's quirk is insanely strong, and how his parents were Hawks and Murkrow, so it's basically he's going to get in no matter what. And then they started talking about how Bakugo has a insanely powerful explosion type quirk, and that he's most likely gonna get in as well. So they would both just walk out of school after hearing the bell ring, as they would then just walk away. Zuko would be walking, as he would then go under a tunnel, as he would sense that something was about to pop out of the sewer drain, as he would jump back from where it was, as he would then see a sludge villain right there, as it'd say, you look like the perfect meat shield I can use to hide from that stupid hero. Now why don't you come here and let me inside of you? Okay, that does not sound right. As Izuku would then just dodge all of the sludge villain's attacks, as Izuku would then just say that it's not nice to try to take somebody's body from them, as he would easily just jump around them, as he would then send another person about to hop out of the sewer drain, and that person would be All Might. All Might would then hop out of the sewer drain and say, "Haha, I am here. Now, boy, have you seen a sludge?" As All Might would then get interrupted, as Izuku would yell, "He's right here, All Might, how are you this blind?" As All Might would then say, sorry, I will take care of this now. As All Might would then punch the sludge villain, just dispersing it into many different parts of the overpass or bridge. As Izuku would walk away, as All Might would then recognize Izuku as the son of Hawks and Murkrow. From there, All Might would then jump off, only for the bottle to slip away from him. From there, All Might would then hear an explosion from many roads down, as he would start hopping over there, as he would then land, but in a puff of smoke would then become Small Might. He would then see a kid with ash blonde hair just stuck in the sludge villain, as All Might would then feel around his pockets, as his eyes would widen. No way, I dropped the sludge villain? As he would then see a black-haired girl run in to try to save Bakugo, as All Might would then puff up into All Might form, being inspired that that girl went in to save him, and yet he couldn't, so then he would just smash the sludge villain, defeating it, and would then just walk away, or would follow this black onyx-haired girl. From there, he would meet her, as he would then tell her that she can become a hero, and he would like to give her his quirk, seeing that she was worthy of becoming the successor of One for All. From there, she would then say, "Oh, All Might, that's pretty cool," as All Might would then ask what her name was, and that would turn out to be Momo Yaoyorozu. From there, All Might's eyes would widen again, as he'd say, "From the famous Yaoyorozu family, so you're the quirkless daughter of them. Well, you shall be quirkless no more. Just come to this Daeguba beach every single day, and I will train you so then you can handle and use my quirk to become a hero." As Momo would then start crying, and she'd say, "Really, All Might? You're not joking with me, are you?" As All Might would then tell her that he's not joking. Now, from there, we cut back to Izuku after the 10 months. Yaoyorozu now having One for All, so now you guys can't just spam "No One for All" in the live chat or in the comments. So Izuku, of course, would walk to UA, and since he's the son of 2 pro heroes, he will be in the recommended section, as he would walk in to see 2 other people, or some other people, as they would then start to do the test. The written exam would be much harder, as they're recommended, so they should be smarter and stronger. So Izuku would easily pass this test, being strong and smart, as they would then just say that it's time for their hero or practical test. From there, they would release them into a city, while the rest of the students that were not recommended were taking the test, as they would then release 10 zero-pointer robots, telling them to go find a way to deal with it. Sorry if you guys hear any background noise. A very loud motorcycle just decided to drive down my street, and will probably be coming back. So now Izuku would just say that they need to use teamwork to defeat that, and that's probably their main test, to use teamwork and not just to have a bunch of meatheads just going into Class 1A, as they wouldn't work well with working with other heroes. So most of the people would agree, besides Todoroki, who would just slide off using his ice away, as Izuku would then fly up looking for any weaknesses on the 0-pointer. From there, Izuku would then fly up, as he would then just kick the 0-pointer in its head, which would cause it to tilt over, which he would then do this to some of the other ones, as he would then continue looking for any weak spots on the now tipped over 0-pointers, as he would find one in the neck area, as he would tell this to some of the other people, as he would then use 2 of his feathers to grab onto them, as he would fly them over to the neck and drop them off, telling them to try to find the weakness there, or just to try and just pull as many wires out as you possibly can to hopefully disable these 0-pointers, as Izuku would then go on to kick the other ones, as we cut to the teachers of UA looking on, impressed with Izuku's teamwork skills, as Nezu would then say, "Well, we should be impressed, as that's the son of Murkrow and Hawks. It's quite obvious that he's insanely strong." As the rest of the teachers would agree with that, and how Izuku has some top 10 heroes as his parents, and it's just insane how strong he's become ever since Nezu first met him back when he was around 7. And now, before I continue this what if, let's have a quick ad break. Recommended students would finish, as they were all tasked to go home and just wait 1 week so that their letters would arrive and would be told if they made it or not and what class they made it into. Now, all of them would end up making it into UA, but some would be in Class 1B, while some would be in Class 1A. Of course, Izuku would be in Class 1A along with Todoroki, as Izuku would then wait another week as he would walk into Class 1A wearing his uniform, as he would then see a very, very big door right in front of the classroom with Class 1A written on it. Now Izuku would then enter this, as he would see some of the kids that were going to be in his class already there. Izuku would sit down, as he would then just wait for the teacher to arrive. Now, he would end up just talking to some of the students that were sitting next to him, being Ochako, Uraraka, and Ida. They would both ask him what his quirk was, as he would then say how he had, the abilities of a hawk, or Hawks, the hero, he has his quirk, and also Murkrow, the hero's quirk, as those are his parents. Now, the entire class hearing this would just be shocked and said, "No way, your parents are Hawks and Murkrow? That's insane. How's it like having 2 of the top 10 heroes as your parents? I bet you're rich, aren't you?" As Izuku would then just be like, "No, we're not exactly rich. My parents mostly put the money into savings. We don't really live a big life buying anything we want." As the entire class would just say, "Oh, but how's it like having them as your parents?" Izuku would just say, "Oh, it's pretty good, besides most of the training I had to do when I was a kid." As the entire class would just be like, "Wait, you had to train when you were a kid?" As Izuku would then just nod as he said, "Yeah, apparently my parents got contacted by some people and they told them that they have to train me, or else they will have to take me and train me so I can become one of the best heroes there will be to fight against villains." To which the entire class would just nod slowly, as some of them were like, yeah, sure. As Izuku would then just be sitting there waiting for the teacher to arrive after talking with some of his now friends. The teacher would arrive in this yellow sleeping bag, as many of the students would mistake it for a caterpillar. They would start to poke it, as Deku would then say, "Why are you guys poking the teacher?" As most of them would just jump back and say, "Wait, that's our teacher? But why is our teacher a caterpillar?" As the teacher would then stand up as he'd say, "I'm not a caterpillar, and this is my sleeping bag. How stupid can some of you guys be?" As the teacher, now known as Shoto Aizawa, would walk up to the podium and hand them all their PE uniforms and tell them to go to the locker rooms, put it on, and then go to testing ground A, as that's where they will begin their first test to see if they belong in Class 1A or if they should be expelled. Now, then they would all just go down into the locker rooms, just change, and then go out into testing ground A, as Aizawa would then throw a ball to Bakugo, saying that he got first in the entrance exam, and to throw the ball the absolute farthest that you can. Bakugo would then wind back his arm as he chucked the ball as far as he can, using a massive explosion to make it go even farther. As Aizawa would then look down at his phone device, or some random type of device, as he would then say, 705 meters. Not bad. As the rest of the class would say, "Oh wow, this looks fun." As Aizawa would then say, "You guys think this is fun? How about the last 2 people get expelled instead of the last 1? Guess you forgot about me being able to expel you all. Is that right?" As the rest of the class would just be like, "Wait, you can't do that!" As Izuku would then step up and say that Aizawa actually expelled his entire class last year, seeing no potential in them. As Izuku would then just laugh nervously, and he would then say, "I wouldn't really get on Aizawa's nerves if I were you guys. I might just expel you because of that." As Aizawa would then say, "That's pretty accurate, Midoriya." As he would then just give Izuku the ball and tell him to throw it, as Izuku would then just fly up into the air, toss the ball, and then just kick the ball using his leg muscles, which would send the ball somewhat far around the 800-meter range, as the entire class would just look on, saying like, "Whoa, he beat Bakugo, even though Bakugo used his explosions. That's insane." As the rest of the class would just start complimenting Izuku, while Bakugo would just start gritting his teeth. How dare that little bunny or bird, how dare that pigeon get in his way? Let's say Bakugo calls Izuku a pigeon. Now, so yeah, Izuku's nickname from Bakugo is a pigeon. How dare that stupid pigeon get in my way? As Bakugo would then say, "How dare you, pigeon! I'm supposed to be number 1," about to send an explosion at Izuku, only to instantly feel that he can't use his quirk, as he'd look over at Aizawa, as he would then say, "Don't try to use your quirk on another student unless we're training for something like that, or else I'll be forced to expel you, Bakugo." As Bakugo would then just stomp off, grumbling, as the rest of the test would continue, with Izuku pretty much getting first in most of the things, using his incredible leg muscles and speed and being able to fly. And since he can fly on like the jump test, he could easily just fly up and get an infinite. But the only thing he didn't get first on was the grip test, which Shoji got. Izuku got somewhere in the top 5. Now after this, Izuku and everybody else would walk back to their house, just waiting for another day at UA. Now weeks would pass of them just doing smaller exercises and training, as Aizawa would then walk into the class as he'd say, "Get excited, class. Today's your first true day of hero training, so I suggest you guys get prepared." As Aizawa would then walk out of the classroom, as they would then hear stomping or loud thuds coming from down the hall. Some of them would go to peek at the door, only for them to jump back as they see the door explode off of its hinges as a very tall figure would appear as he then say, "I am here!" As most of the class would then yell, "All Might! Wait, All Might's teaching our hero class?" As All Might would then just laugh as he'd say, "Haha, yes, Class 1A, I will be your hero teacher. And you can't all be heroes without costumes," as he would then click a button on a remote, as costumes would then come out of the wall, each in different briefcases. Now, Izuku would go and get his costume. Imagine like a mix between Hawk's and Murkrow's costume. That's basically what Izuku looks like. As they would all walk down to Testing Ground E, which is a city, as All Might would then start to explain what they will be doing. A heroes versus villains assignment, and how there will be 2 teams inside the building, 1 team of 2 being heroes, another team of 2 being villains tasked with protecting the bomb, hopefully not getting it disarmed by the other team. All the heroes have to do is either capture the villains with cork erasing tape, or like this capture tape that they have, or just touch the bomb, and they will just say that's disarming it. Now, from there, Izuku would be paired up with Momo Yaoyorozu, and then he will get paired against. So Momo and Izuku would be paired against Bakugo and Todoroki. Todoroki would just stand there not really doing anything, while Bakugo would then say, "Oh, so I'm going against that useless Momo and that pigeon. This should be a quick match." As if you're wondering why Bakugo calls Momo useless, is because Momo is the Corkless girl that Izuku would save, and she used to be in the school Bakugo and Izuku went to, and basically she just transferred into a different school after the bullying incident, having her father not want the frail girl he saw her as to get hurt by another bully. So Bakugo just calls her a useless Momo, as Izuku and Momo would then just stand outside of the building, waiting for All Might to give them the signal to enter into the building. Now, while they were waiting, they heard over the intercoms that they now enter the building, as they both look at each other trying to devise a plan. As Izuku says that Bakugo is obviously just gonna go all out, and that they have to try and defeat Bakugo very quickly, as one of Izuku's feathers or wings weakness is that it's very weak to flames, which explosions can count as that. So Izuku basically is gonna have to try and stay a little bit farther and hopefully not have his wings just get destroyed. While he would then say that Bakugo hates both of us, as Momo would nod, as they would try to devise a plan to defeat Bakugo. Now, Izuku would then just say, well, what if we just walk out of the building and walk up the top? Because obviously they're not gonna think of that. So what if we just do that? As Momo would agree as they walk out of the entrance, as we cut back to Class 1A and All Might just wondering to themselves, why are they leaving the building? As all of a sudden Izuku would turn around, as he would then sense something bad about to happen, as he would jump right out of the doorway of the building, also taking Momo with him, as she would then look on to see the entire building frozen. As Izuku would then say, so my instincts were right. Something bad was about to happen. That's gonna make it a lot harder for us to climb the sides. You think we should probably use the fire escape of another building, then hop from the roof of that one to get onto this one? To which Momo would then say that would probably work, as they would look around for buildings with a fire escape, and lucky enough, the building right next to them happened to have a fire escape. They get the ladder down as they'd start to climb up it, as they would then get onto the roof. From there, Izuku would then hop from that roof over to the roof of where the assignment was held, as Izuku would then tell Momo to use her quirk. And if you forgot, Momo's quirk is one for all. So Izuku would then say just to flick the top of the building, as Izuku would see Momo being hesitant, as Izuku says, "So you're hesitant about breaking your finger, right? What if you try to evenly balance all of your quirk throughout all of your body? So then you're not using all too much percentage or all too much power in one part of your body, causing it to break." To which Momo would try this, as then she would then see like this lightning starting to go around her. Let's say it was blue, as she would then see this and say, "Oh, wow, this is cool, thanks Izuku," as she would then punch the top of the building, creating a massive hole, revealing Todoroki right there, as Izuku would then drop down, jump over to Todoroki, and kick him across the room, as he would then catch Momo's leg and throw her right at the bomb, as she would catch the bomb, giving them the victory. And that's where I'm going to leave this series off. Part 2 will hopefully be tomorrow. And once again, I thank you all for 7,000 subscribers. That is absolutely insane. And I can't wait, hopefully, to hit 8,000. Hopefully by the end of this month as well. I thank you all for watching this What If once again, and goodbye.